Hey, fine people. It is your boy, Glenn Lawrence. I am back with another episode of the Blurred Dad Podcast, a space where we like to have unfiltered conversations and nerd out about parenthood. And I'll tell you, today we have an episode about a subject that is near and dear to my heart. We're going to be talking yoga with Hannah Davis. I am very excited about this conversation. I haven't talked to her since she became a mom herself. So we're going to catch up on some things, probably get some tips on how to get these babies moving, how to get the movement going, talk a little bit about trauma-informed stuff. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a darn good time. I can't wait to get into it. But before I get into it, I have to make you aware of our sponsors because they are so amazing. And as amazing as they are for people, they're even better for pets. I'm talking about theymademewear.it. Yes. Once again, theymademewear.it. It's a husband and wife team on a mission to help dogs discover their fashionable side. I've been talking to them. They're going to be adding some other animals to that side. So, cats, I think they're going to start using lizards. I talked about that before. Snakes, they're going to have all kinds of charms and bracelets for those type of animals. And you're going to be able to get your pet, whatever it is, a hamster. Have you ever seen a iced out hamster? It's a thing to marvel. And theymademewear.it will help you do that. So whether it's an awesome Halloween costume, adorable dress, comfy jammies, or a custom designer gown, your fur baby will love wearing the latest fashions. Yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot. While you're shopping, you're going to be helping out do some great things in your community because they give a portion of those proceeds to Hope for Paws, which is an animal rescue organization that works tirelessly to get animals off the mean streets. So I don't know what you're waiting for. You should have already been on the website. Check out theymademewear.it. Also use code word blurred for 15% off your entire order. Yeah. I always get surprised at the fact that more people aren't like beating down the doors for these awesome clothing lines. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start bringing out some of the fashions that they have and some of the models, and I'm gonna model some of those things. I'm gonna put them up. I'm gonna bring their website up, and you can look at them. That's coming. We're going to start doing some more amazing things because we're coming up on our 50th episode. So I'm excited for how things are going to be changing and evolving as we move forward on the channel, as we move forward with this podcast. And I can't wait for you to be a part of it. So please like, share, subscribe, do all those great things so that you can make sure that other people are hearing and getting this great content. They're hearing about theymademewear.it. They're hearing all the Blurred Dad advice that I have to give and all the advice from all the amazing guests like the one coming up now. So without further ado, I want to talk to Hannah Davis. She is a social, I'll say that 3 times fast. She is a social worker and a yoga teacher who is passionate about leadership, youth, and family. She began practicing yoga in 2009. She completed her 200-hour yoga teacher certification from Sky House Yoga in Silver Spring, Maryland. She leads several healing and trauma-informed, community-based yoga classes for youth and adults, which I've actually taught 1 or 2 of those. She holds a Master of Social Work from the University of Maryland. She's done so many things in the collegiate ranks. She also has a bachelor's degree in journalism and a minor in sociology from Temple University. She's an independent licensed social worker in Maryland and the District of Columbia. And she also sits on the Girl Scouts Council of the nation's capital Gold Award panel and serves as vice chair for the Montgomery Collaboration Council. That is a lot. She does so much. I can't believe she's even my friend. That's how many things she does. I'm honored and very excited to talk with my good friend, Hannah Davis. What is going on, Miss Hannah?
Hi. Yeah, she sounds real busy.
Yeah, you sound like you're doing a lot. I'm surprised that you even had time to talk to us. Like it sounds like you're doing so much. Girl Scouts? I didn't know that. I didn't know you were a Girl Scout.
I'm a lifetime member of Girl Scouts.
What? Scouts honor?
Yeah. I've been a Girl Scout for goodness, almost 30 years.
What?
Yeah.
You don't even look like you're 30 years old. How good?
Oh, wow. Thank you. It's that vitamin C serum I've started using.
So wait, at what age do you age out of selling the cookies? When's that?
So last year of high school, so senior.
Okay.
senior high school.
So they get you while you're cute.
Yeah, yeah. I remember going in high school and like knocking on a neighbor's door, and she was like, "You're still doing this?" And I was like, "Yes, I am," and handing her my cookie. I was like, we're trying to go to England. We want to go to the Girl Scout World Center over there. So
Oh wow, that's amazing.
yeah, we ended up not doing it. I went to Mexico with my Girl Scout money because there's a Girl Scout World Center there. So I did 2 weeks and like immersed in Girl Scout stuff in Mexico, which was really cool. And yeah, wanted to keep traveling, but
Wait, they have like a world center is that like Disneyland for Girl Scouts?
So I guess you can look at it that way. There's 5 world centers. So it's a place where Girl Scouts from all over the globe can come in and do activities. So like when I went to Mexico, it's a place called Arcabana in Cuernavaca, Mexico. That's the Girl Scout World Center there. But we got to go on tours. We learned about the culture in Mexico. We got to go shopping. We hung out with other Girl Scouts. There were folks from Belize and Hong Kong and California and like Maryland and DC area. So yeah, you just all kind of hang out for a week and a half, and then you go home.
Sounds amazing. In my mind, what I'm imagining is like the X-Mansion from X-Men, the comic book, where like Professor X has all the different X-Men come in and they're learning, they're just all flying around, and Bobby's like flying in on his little ice surfboard. And
yes, it's kind of like that. Yeah. And in Mexico, we have like scorpions that, would come in and into our rooms. So that was like a whole production. Like the counselors would dress up and do things to get the scorpions out.
That is pretty awesome. That's a world that I am not privy to. And I have a boy, so I don't think he's going to be doing any Girl Scout things, in the future. So, but I kind of want to have a girl so she could also be involved in this thing. I just always thought Girl Scouts were cool. Did it go away from doing things like learning how to tie knots and learning how to start fires and do all that type of stuff? Like, what do the Girl Scouts do now? What is their mission?
Oh, well, so our mission actually is to develop girls of courage, confidence, and character. They are the #1 girl leadership organization in our country. So by learning to tie those knots and by selling those cookies, we are learning leadership skills, right? We're learning to be entrepreneurs. We're learning to be resourceful and take care of ourselves. I can tie a mean square knot. So I still learn those things, right? But I also got to travel to Mexico, and I mean, we didn't travel internationally, but we went to New York, and I've been able to earn a lot of badges. I learned to put on events and workshops when I was like 11, 12 years old. So yeah, I love Girl Scouts.
That's like amazing. That is like, we've known each other for what, like almost a decade now.
Yeah.
And I did not know that you were that deep in the Girl Scouts. That is something that I'm just learning right now.
I am deep. Yeah. And I love it.
Did that experience in Girl Scouts help you lead your yoga practice?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, probably, maybe. I'm like, it's funny. Okay. The first time I actually tried yoga was at a Girl Scout event.
Oh, okay.
I was 15, 16 years old, and I hated it. I remember going, it was like a workshop, kind of badge workshop thing. So you would just kind of rotate through these different stations. And one of the stations was this yoga teacher who like brought us into this dark room, and then she had this quiet music playing, but she was like super smiley. I can see her face. Like she was super smiley and like very pumped and excited. And I was like, none of this is matching. Like, this is weird. Like, she wants us to be quiet and still, but she's like super pumped and jazzed. And like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, you want me to sit and be quiet? Like, I can't do that. It was maybe like 15, 20 minutes, but I was like, ugh, I can't. I'm not going to do yoga. And then, when you get to college, the gym has yoga and Pilates. And I was like, well, I did yoga. I did it for that 15 minutes at that random Girl Scout event. And I was like, I'm going to go to do Pilates. So I feel like I'm doing something.
Right.
And then, in 2009, when I moved to Arizona, they had the free yoga class at my apartment. And I was like, well, I want to stretch. I guess I'll give it a try. It's free. I was doing AmeriCorps. I didn't have any money. So I was like,
Right.
free 99. I'm there. I went in, I left. I felt like I floated back to my apartment. I was
Yeah.
like, that was absolutely amazing. Why was I scared of this? Why did I hate this the first time? So, yeah, my Girl Scout experience, that's so funny. I haven't thought about that in a while, but yeah, I guess Girl Scouts did contribute to my yoga journey in a
It
way.
like all led into it. You know what? I've thought about this because I feel like you see it a lot, especially in these type A areas like Arlington and Maryland, whatever, where everything's like
Mm-hmm.
very achievement based. It's hard to do yoga for people like that because your mind's always going. You're always thinking, I need to go to this, I need to go to that, I need to go to the next thing.
Right.
And you can't slow your mind down. And yoga kind of is the union of body, breath, and movement and whatnot. So uh when you have to slow down and be one with your thoughts, people are like, ugh, get it away from me, get it, like I don't want to do it, I don't want to think it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's probably what was happening to, 16-year-old Hannah, is that she was not, I mean, she didn't know it at the time, but she like had a lot of, anxiety and depression that was unresolved. And you want me to sit and be still and be quiet? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And this is really uncomfortable, sitting and being quiet, like with just my thoughts. I'm like, no, no, I
Yeah.
can't. I can't.
Yeah.
You want me to just breathe? No,
No,
I can't. I can't.
don't
So,
want to do it, don't do it.
yeah, yeah. So I think I just wasn't ready for it then. But like you're saying, I mean, yoga is the union, right? It's to yoke and to bring together. And so I was like, oh, that's what's happening. That's what we're doing here. That's when I started to be like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for this. I need this in my life. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Now, listen, I wanted to talk to you because you have had the most beautiful baby girl,
Thank you.
and now you're a mom, right?
I
We both
am.
became parents like kind of around the same time. We were
Yes.
out here in the world, and all of a sudden now we have these children. And I just wanted to ask you, how are you doing? Because I know how I'm doing. How are you? How are you handling it?
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Um, I'm not as tired as I was like this time last year.
Right.
That's a whole nother level of tired I didn't know you could get to.
It's like we're zombies.
Yeah.
Because I was waking up in the middle of the night, and like Steph obviously is waking up the most because she has to keep the baby alive with feedings. But I was trying to be very supportive, and I'd be like, all right, she's doing a lot with the feedings. I got diapers. Like if it needs to be changed, I got it. So, but it was just like you awake, like I would go to sleep and then wake up like a couple hours and almost like sleepwalk to the changing table, like eyes half closed. Like I could change a diaper with my eyes closed. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
and then like back to sleep, laid down. And it's funny because your body does operate on a level of tiredness that you are not used to. The only thing I could equate it to is like if you like basic training or something like that, where
Mm.
you just you're sleep deprived and whatnot. It is crazy to me that we have these children, and the amount of sleep that you don't get is just normalized. And I
Oh
was
yeah.
fortunate enough to be in the pandemic when we had the baby.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was like teleworking and I was at home, so I could deal with being at home. But I'm like, wait, how do we do this? Because it just felt normal to be home and take care
Yeah.
but it's not normal. Like people go right back to work. I'm like, how does someone give their kid away like right after you
I
have your
yeah,
baby?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been pro like women, children, family rights policies, but I was like, when I was in it, being in it, I'm like, we have to fix this.
Yeah.
Like none of this is okay. Like the I mean, I didn't because I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't have my own like maternity leave. I wasn't paid. I wasn't, I
Yeah.
didn't I'm not working, therefore I don't get paid. And so, being a yoga teacher, I didn't have any income coming in. And I was like, I mean, I'm very blessed and fortunate and grateful that I was able to, take my, how many months, 4 or 5 months off that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have amazing support, and people around me, but it was like, what if I couldn't, right?
Right.
Like I'd have to heal from my C-section and go back to work like immediately. I'm like, I can't even walk up the steps right now. And I'm supposed to be able to go function as a human being. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm sleeping like in 30-minute, if I'm lucky, increments right now. Like, no, none of this is okay. None
Yeah.
of this is
And
okay.
the other
So,
thing is like you're sleeping like that, and then you have to go out and operate a car, like you got to go drive somewhere. It's like operating heavy machinery and you're like sleep deprived. It
yeah,
just seems very counterintuitive.
yeah.
Um, you know what? I became a huge advocate for maternal leave and paternal leave because, everyone's like, maternal leave, you need it. But I'm like, if the dad is also not home to help, that's like a lot of weight on that we're putting on moms. And I could see how it would drive someone kind of a little nutty to have to do all that. And then you have the weight of feeling like you're not doing it well,
Mm-hmm.
because you're like all by yourself. When, throughout history, usually you had one parent to help. And when, it's like there's like a dad does some things and mom does some things
Mm-hmm.
for the child. And then you have like grandparents in the house, and we kind of as a society have floated away from that. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, yeah.
mom, do everything on your own and get back to work. It does not seem like a good way to raise a society, in my opinion.
No, it's not. And, it's also, here's all of the TikTok and Instagram influencer, telling you, mom, you're not doing a good job, right? Like just the amount of money, I'm sure it's billions of dollar industry of, the birthing and the after having the kid, the
Mm,
lactation consultants and the doulas and just all of these people. And then also now you got the mommy bloggers who are like,
yeah.
I dress up in my full outfit to like sit with and hold my kid. And I'm like, well, here I am covered in spit up and maybe my nursing tank is fastened. I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have it together. I'm supposed to be
Listen, I
dressed.
I don't know what your algorithm is feeding you, but we've got normal moms who are on there like, look, it is rough out here in these streets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm getting the normal moms who are like, oh, I'm in my robe and here's
Right.
my coffee cup and I'm going to take my kids to school. I'm like, okay, you're my people. You're my people. Like,
Yeah.
here we are. So,
It's funny how much more you understand once you have a child. Like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like before, you
mm-hmm.
would see someone just out there with like mustard or milk on their shirt and just be like, what is that? Ugh. And now
Yeah.
as a parent, you're just like, I haven't slept in years,
Yeah.
so I don't care. I'm gonna leave this milk right here on my chest.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how long it's been there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like or just like you're more willing to just like lick something and be like, what is that? Okay, that's
Uh-huh.
formula. Or like your gross meter just kind of goes out the window.
Oh,
Like
it's
I don't
gone.
know, have you had to do the snot thing with it, like get the snot out of their nose?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
literally
yeah.
suck snot out of his nose, like with my mouth. Like I would never do that for any other person, but he's
Mhm.
like like having trouble breathing, and I just like it's just parental instinct, just grab his face and be like, just slurp it out. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Covered like there's so many especially there early on. Like you're covered in so many bodily fluids. Like it's
yeah.
a whole
Luckily,
thing.
we've escaped the PM. Like he hasn't peed or pooped on us, so that is like a
Ever?
godsend. No, he
Oh,
has never. But I mean, he's had an accident before. Like, oh, so we're doing the potty training thing,
yeah.
and so we're trying to potty train. They gotta have their diaper off so you can get them acclimated to going. And he was running around and he goes and he pees on the potty. And we're like, good job, yay! And we're like kind of like celebrating and high fiving, that we got him to pee. And then we after our celebration, we look over. And then he's like pooped on the floor. And we're just like, oh, I think we celebrated too early. We probably should have been paying attention. But he pooped like a horse. Like he didn't squat or anything. He just like pooped and just kept walking. And like, how did that get there? He's been running
Lifted
the
his
whole time.
tail, like.
When did he have time to get that out there? I can't poop standing up. I can't poop on the move.
Oh yeah, no. I mean that is a gift I've noticed that the babies do have. It's like they're like, oh, I'm over here, just walking.
Yeah.
It's like a bird. I'm like,
It's like, how did that?
what? Yeah.
So is she walking now?
Not yet. She's cruising. She's a cruiser. She's
Okay.
crawling. She's very chatty and very opinionated. She's got a lot of opinions. But yeah, no, we're not walking yet. She just needs to take her hand off the thing, and she's like, I can't. So yeah,
Are you
it's
trying
coming.
to help
She's
her?
so
Like
clever.
are you like guiding her, or are you kind of like, all right, you'll fall, you'll figure it out?
Both, yes. I'm like, yes to both. Yeah, I mean, she can stand up in the middle of the room by herself, and we'll help her, kind of, if she's like, I'm out here, we'll like give her a knee to, to kind of brace herself on.
Right.
But, we're walking around with her, holding her hand, and then we're trying to do one hand, and she's like, oh, the wall, I need the wall. Like, but we're like, no, come on, you got it. And then she's like, I need the other hand. So we're helping, but at the same time, letting her, kind of choose her own path, if you will.
Oh,
so yeah,
it's so funny with Morgan. Like we'll help him, right? So the first steps, he's like, oh, I need help. And then you'll help him. And then as soon as he like figures it out, he's like, all right, get off me. What? Like, why are you touching me? Like, release me. It's like, as soon as he figures it out, he's like, get away. You're like, wait.
I feel like that's going to come. She's already, even when she was just little, she was like, I'm very, very independent. I don't know where she gets that from, but, she's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to like do this thing, and please like, don't help me. I'm going to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
She likes to turn her toys over.
And like,
she's like, how does this work? She like touches the screws and it's like, so
it's funny to see their little manners.
Yeah.
How they figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
How they go. Do you have a crier on your hands? Because I feel like we didn't have a crier early, but now it's like all the time.
Yeah, I was like, you might hear her today. She's not that far away. She's like just upstairs. So yeah, she cries. Like, I've been in session with clients, and she's been crying, and they've been like, oh, I didn't know you had kids. And I was like, yeah, I do, because she's that loud. But I'm like, some days it's great, and then other days it's nothing but crying. We're also teething right now too. She's got her molars coming in the back, and so it's like that's not helping the situation. But
it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've tried this, but have you done baby yoga with her?
No, I have not actually.
I have a book. It's called where's the book? Oh, here, I'll show it to you. Hold on.
Yeah. I was like, what? It sounds like, do you have recommendations? So
I do. I got this book. It's called the Itsy Bitsy. Hold on, can I see that? Whoop.
There. Okay.
The Itsy Bitsy yoga.
Okay.
Which is great. As you can see, he's drawn on it. He's marked up the book. He's put some bookmarks of his own on there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a great book, and it has like a lot of different poses and things that you can do with the baby, especially for when he was younger, like when he was first here. They do a lot of crying, and they want to be soothed, and there's like different poses that you can do with them, as well as movements and motions that you can do with them. And I was very, very surprised at how well they worked. Like he would stop crying like immediately, and I was like, oh, this is wild. Now you do have to be in shape, because a lot of like some of it you have to like stand up and squat up and down. I was like, all right, this is kind of a workout now at this point. But it worked really, really well. And the book goes up to toddlerhood, and you can help like move their body, stretch their body out, because I guess their limbs and everything have to grow, and if you stretch them and bend them or whatever, it can help them grow and to have like better flexibility as they get older.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was a really cool book. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was super useful.
Okay.
And I probably need to finish the whole thing because I got up to like a year and a half of the
Oh,
thing because it has from infant to a year and a half. I think it actually has some prenatal stuff too. Did you do any prenatal
oh, yeah.
yoga?
I practiced up until I was about 38 weeks.
Oh wow! So that's almost the end. That's like
Yeah, yeah. And the only reason I didn't go, I was past my due date, and so I was just, and I was also, I made it through the summers in DC, right? So I'm like, had my third trimester not been like August in
right,
DC, I probably would have kept going up until, but I was just so uncomfortable. I was so ready for the baby to be
and everything's so
out. I was
hot and
just like,
sticky.
yeah, I was like, I just can't go. I wanted to, I needed to, like, just for my own everything, but I was like, oh, I can't. I was just so uncomfortable in my body by the like those last 2 weeks. I just kept saying, get out, get out. So
I feel like that's most moms. They're just like, all right, I love the union. At first it was beautiful growing you, but now I want my body back.
yeah,
Leave.
yeah, yeah. Little did I know it would be like another year or 5, like,
Mhm.
until you feel like your
You're back.
body's yours
Back in.
again.
Now,
But
did you like also miss the baby being in there? Because somebody was said like she missed being pregnant to some degree.
I
She's like just a little bit, not a lot.
I mean, I was adorable when I was pregnant. Like, I was so cute.
You are.
Yeah, I just like I had the cute little baby bump, it was like spring, summer, so I just, I was out on the beach with my little like maternity suit, I was like, this is adorable. Um, I don't know if I miss it. I don't know if I miss it. I mean, maybe in like 10 years when we hop on the podcast again, I'll be like, oh my goodness, I miss it. But I'm like, right now, I'm like, no, I'm good.
No, good.
I'm
All
good.
right, yeah.
I don't miss it. I mean, I loved it. I loved being pregnant, especially, well, like after that first trimester. The first one was a DZ for me. After that, I was like, oh, I'm so cute. Like, look at this. This
Mm,
is adorable. But yeah, no, I don't really miss it. I don't miss it
okay. Well,
much. So
maybe she's abnormal. I think just
I
the
know
having
people
the
do.
baby.
People do. I'm just not
Yeah.
one.
Well, it's the closest the baby will ever be to you. It's like right there. Like all the
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But also they're like also like right there. Like
yeah.
I'm just all the
Oh,
time. So
oh,
like I
oh.
can breathe again. I learned how to walk again after. Like, yeah, you forget how to walk because they're like right there. You're like waddling. It's
How
the
long did
whole
it take
thing.
for you to get back into your practice from after being after birthing?
Yeah, after birthing. Okay. Well, I mean, we're not going to dive into it today because that's a conversation for another day. I had a very traumatic birth. And
Oh no.
so my recovery was very extended because also on top of the traumatic birth, then I had complications with healing. And so
Oh no.
just became like a whole thing. I mean, everyone's fine. We're all good. We're here. We're healthy. That's what's important and what matters. But I where I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back to this and hop right back in where I left off. And I was like, she's fine. She's like a little person. She can't even roll over. Like, I'll
Right.
just, I had these big plans and dreams. I signed up back with my teacher um, to do a class. I was like, yes, I'm so excited. I put it on the calendar, put the baby down because I was like, oh, she'll be like next to me while I'm practicing, right? A little, again, this vision. And as soon as I laid her down, she just started crying. And I was like, it's okay. She's going to like go to sleep. And she didn't, this is an online class. So,
Right.
so I'm like, I'm trying. And I like messaged my teacher. I was like, baby won't stop crying. I tried. And then that was like kind of the end of my like personal practice.
Mm,
I've been teaching, I've been practicing what I've been teaching, but I mean, well, like teaching and
yeah.
your own practice, I they're two different
Two different
things.
things.
And so I look at them kind of as their own individual practices. And so while I was still teaching, I didn't feel like I was in my practice the way that I would like to be. And so it's funny you ask, how long has it taken? 13 months. I hired myself a private yoga teacher. Who I'm meeting with after this. Like, I'm dressed in my yoga clothes.
Oh, you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready
Nice.
to go. Yeah, I'm like set up right here. I'm just gonna roll out my yoga mat. It's just sitting right here next to me, and I'm gonna meet with my teacher. So, that was. I mean, I was like, I need that accountability. I need someone who can also help me feel better in my body again. And she's a pre and postnatal teacher, and so that was also this other thing is, given that my body was not mine for a year and a half, I'm like, can you help me feel like this is mine again? And that's her specialty. And so yeah, that's what's helping me get back. And
how many sessions have you already had? Have you done a bunch already, or are
not
you
a
feeling
bunch.
like you have your body back is what
we're on the way. We're on the way. Like, we did, I think this might be our 4th session that we're having this afternoon. And the last session, it was nice to just be back on my mat at the beginning. I was like, oh, to just lay here, and then going into my downward facing dog versus like teaching downward facing dog, and being in my warrior 2 versus when I'm showing you how to do warrior 2. It was like, oh
yeah,
this is nice. Like, I told her, I was like, I should do this more often.
Like, yeah, exactly. When you can get deeper into like your practice and, really focus on your movement and, and almost reconnect with yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's really difficult to do. Now, I say that as a dad. I had ample opportunity to do it on my own, but in solidarity, I was not doing my practice.
Oh, is that what you're calling it?
That's what I was calling it. But I did start getting back into it, and I would do it in the morning. I just started slowly doing a sun salutation every morning. Just a sun A real quick. You know what I mean? It could take less than 5 minutes to just run through real fast. And it was a good way to get back into it. And then I worked myself up to, 30 minutes again. And then of course, some things happen, life happened, I stopped again. But I love this conversation because it reminds me to get back into that practice. It does not take that long, and there are so many benefits. I just feel mindful. Like, I feel my mind feels better. My mind feels full, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it feels satiated when I'm able to do that, at least at the beginning of the day,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good word to use. Yeah. I mean, yoga just fills me up in so many ways. It's been this thing that I've been able to fall back on whenever I need it, and can also step away from it. Like, I haven't practiced since I was 38 weeks pregnant. So, it was 13, 14 months before I got back into my practice. And it wasn't like, oh, you're not welcome here. My mat was like, sorry, you can't come. Right. Like, it's been too long. My mat was like, sure.
Like, welcome back.
Of course. Yeah. We're happy to have you. Like, I just lay down. Right. And I'm like, okay.
You know what's great? That is where I started, even before the sun salutations. Like, I just started doing corpse pose, just laying down, playing nice music, and I was like, that's a good start. And I'm like, all right, now you can move up to do a little child's pose, and then like get into it. So I love that yoga can always like meet you where you are.
Yes.
So if you can only lay down, then that's it. You can lay down and breathe. That's it. I was talking to another friend of mine who's a yoga instructor as well. Shireen Gamal. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we've met. Yeah, I think you've introduced us. Yeah.
Yeah, she's super awesome. Y'all should get together and do classes and stuff together. She's doing like retreats and all this other stuff, which is great. So y'all should get together. She's actually been on the podcast too. So you're the second yogi that's been on here. But she what was I saying? What was I just talking about? I was
Oh, you were saying that you had her on, and
then she was talking about movement or whatever, and how mentally, that's what it's funny. Mentally, when you're stuck, yoga helps you move. And I got mentally stuck just now. But mentally, when you're stuck, movement is how you get unstuck, and that's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of what you're doing in yoga, whether it's through breathing or through the movement. So it's just something great to get you unstuck, and I have to keep reminding myself of that when I get in these especially nowadays with like
Mm-hmm.
seasonal
Mm-hmm.
depression. When you get in these mental fogs, it's like movement can help you push through that and move through that. So
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, yoga's been a super big part of my life, and I love how it can just meet you where you are. Like if you have like an injury or whatever, you can do small things to get back into it,
Mm-hmm.
um and really get moving, get unstuck.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I've got my tennis ball like under my desk here, and I'm rolling my feet out. I mean, yoga can be whatever you need it to be that day or that moment, and you might be in, you know, a full flow, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm done. And just lay down on your mat, and no one's going to be like, hey, get up, you need to keep going, right? Like
Right, right.
it's
Although when I was
yeah.
doing it in Arlington, there was definitely like type A yoga yogis, which is it's such an oxymoron because they're just like, yeah, I like this class isn't fast enough. I need to move. Warrior A, warrior, yeah, yeah, and just like they
Yeah.
want to go through all the poses like really fast, really aggressively, and it was just interesting because when you would try to put them in a class or in a mode to move slower, they would just be like really uncomfortable. Like
Mhm.
they're uncomfortable with like the slowness and the patience
Yes.
of it, which is
Yeah.
also a very hard thing to do. But they see the hard as like physical. Like I gotta keep moving through it. I gotta warrior. Hey, I gotta reverse warrior. I got a downward dog. I gotta like I gotta do all of it. But
Hmm.
that being calm is also a very unique skill set that is
Oh,
very difficult for type A's to do.
yeah. I feel like that's, and I mean, I've said this. I feel like shavasana, right, and that meditation at the end can be the hardest part of practice, right? And I mean, it's a challenge for me. I've been practicing for a decade plus now. Like shavasana is still hard for me, right?
Mhm.
I'm one of those people also who's like laying there. I like want to look at my watch. I mean, I don't wear a watch anymore, but I'm like, I want to look at the watch. Is it time? Are we done? Oh my goodness, it's only been 30 seconds. Like I'm that person. I mean, it is really hard because to sit in that quiet and that stillness, especially if you're used to that go, 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 go,
Yeah,
it can be hard.
yeah.
So
So I know that you do trauma informed yoga as
yes,
well. Was
yeah.
that helpful, just having that knowledge and that skill set in dealing with such a hard pregnancy?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the yoga actually came part of my like is through my own healing journey. That's kind of how all of this happened. I knew I felt better after a yoga class. I didn't know why. Right? I
Hmm.
just, like I said, I left my first class floating back to my apartment. I mean, not, I mean, maybe I was actually floating. I don't know. But, I just felt very tall and light. And I was just like, what just happened to me? Right? What was that? And I was like, I want more of that. I need more of that. And so that's kind of what led me in, but I didn't know any of the science behind what was actually happening in my body as I was experiencing these things. And as I, started my MSW program, my Master of Social Work program, started to learn more about trauma, learning more about the mind body connection and how that shows up in the body, it was like, oh, this is why I feel better
Hmm.
after a yoga class, is because that trauma that's in my body is getting out. It has
Right.
a place to go now. Like it can run its course the way that it didn't get to before. And so I think, I didn't know my pregnancy and my birth was, well, my pregnancy was fine. It was like the birth. I didn't realize that it was going to be traumatic.
Hmm.
I didn't know that ahead of time. Probably would have done things differently had I known, but
Right.
um, I think having that lens and remembering the compassion, for trauma
Right.
was important in in the healing process, right? To take time, right? I mean, that's why it's taken me 13 months to get back to my practice, is because I needed to take that time. Like, I needed my body and my mind to heal and wrap around what had just happened. And yeah, I think having that trauma informed lens did help for my own story, because I was able to hold myself with compassion during this time, rather than beating myself up, like you're saying, the type A
Yeah.
yogis, right? I'm not beating myself up of like, get back, you were doing wheel and handstand, and like, it wasn't like that. It was like, okay, I'm gonna just start by rolling out my mat,
Right.
and then
Oh,
I'm gonna lay down,
yeah.
like, because that's where we're at today, right? Or I'm gonna go for a walk, right? That's what it was. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then being kind to yourself. Have you
Mhm.
been laughing? Because, so by the way, if you don't know Hannah, she used to run one of the hottest shows out of her basement, and it was great for the DC area. Hannah's basement was where a lot of people cut their teeth. That was a great show. It was a great time, and you really made it amazing. Have you been laughing recently? Have you been out to comedy shows? We miss your laugh, Hannah. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I've been to a few. I did like the Thursday night comedy in downtown Silver Spring that Jay Rivas does. I went to that a couple
Oh,
times. Um, but I'm like, I haven't been able to get out. I'm like, I have a baby. Like, it's been hard. I would love to take her to the comedy club, but I don't think she'd be as welcome. So,
no. No, no. I
um,
mean, it's interesting because we did take him out a couple times, and early he was okay. But recently he's gotten to be a little rambunctious, and he loves his voice, so he likes to share it with everyone, no matter
mhm,
what the occasion or the setting.
mhm, mhm.
So, we've taken him to movies before,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Oh, at this part, I want to scream! Everyone's
Yes.
screaming! I want to scream!" And
Yeah.
then we have taken him to comedy shows. We took him to a show where I was featuring, and then the headliner, as soon as the headliner gets on, he starts saying, "Hey, Daddy, where's Daddy?" Starts
So
heckling
he's a
them.
good heckler. Is that what I'm
Yeah,
is that what I'm
but you
hearing?
know what? He's got amazing comedic timing. We've taken him to a couple shows, and he for some reason he just heckles like really well. Like the comedian will get to like their punchline, and then the whole audience is just not laughing. That he'll heckle like right on point, and then get a laugh, and then the comedian plays off or whatever. So I'm like, he's actually helping the sets. Like he's not a
Yeah.
detriment to the show.
Well, yeah, maybe
Um,
I need to take my kid. Maybe I need to, like,
I figured
so.
I would take him while he's young so he gets used to being in this type of environment, so he knows,
Mhm.
because that's what I'm going to be doing. And rather than daddy's always out doing comedy, I want him to be right there and then see me do what I'm doing, and just see the art that I'm trying to create and craft,
Mhm.
and see that process, and hopefully he can contribute, or like see his own art or see his own path
Yeah.
through that. So I want him to be involved. I don't want to be like a absent, like I'm chasing my dream, so I never see my kid. I'd rather be like, oh, I was always right there, with dad while he was doing XYZ, and I was on his lap at this thing.
Mhm.
But he has to learn the silence part. Like, silence is golden. You got to learn that part first, kid.
Yes. Yeah, that's the important part. I didn't always get that either. So, um, yeah, I like to talk during a show, so it's also kind of my signature. So.
But you always, you know what? We miss Fernando. Fernando also, he fell victim to fatherhood during during the time during the time that what you call it um during the time that this pandemic was happening. Um, but hold on, I had what did I have a question about? The blurting question. I gotta ask you.
Oh,
Yeah, blurting question, which is, what do you like to nerd out about, Miss Hannah?
that's a good question. Like, well, yoga and trauma informed yoga and trauma, which I
Mhm.
know seems weird. Also, Girl Scouts. Like, we hit a lot of them today.
I know.
I can
you
get
know what?
real nerdy about Girl Scouts.
We
Like,
started talking about that early, and I did not know that we were going to be hitting the blurting question that early, because you were going very, very deep into it. But
yeah.
here's the thing: getting back to Girl Scouts,
Mhm.
how many badges do you have, and what's the best badge that you earn? Your favorite badge?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, first of all, I have no idea in my career from second grade to senior year of high school how many badges
That many?
yeah, well, different levels, they're called different things, but like my badges that I've earned, right? You get your patches, those go on the back. Those are like your fun activity kinds of things. But yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
What if you
Like
had to
I'll have
guess? Did you get like 5 a year or 2?
Oh, no. I
Okay.
have way more than that.
What?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd probably be in the hundreds, maybe more, like throughout my whole career. Um, yeah. Yeah, no,
You look like
I was like, I've earned a
a
lot.
foreign general with all your patches, like if you
I
wore
mean,
them all around.
there's some Girl Scouts who have like additional layers on their vests and their sashes. I wasn't on that level. I wasn't that person where I was like, I need to get this whole book, you know. But I earned a few. I earned a few. I
What was
don't
your
know if
favorite?
I had a
Did you have a favorite one?
favorite. I don't know about a favorite bad, but I do have like so I am a Gold Award Girl Scout, which is the highest award that any Girl Scout can earn. As a Girl Scout, like as a young person Girl Scout.
Right.
Um, so I got my gold award, but I would actually think my silver award, which is what I did before my gold award, was actually really cool. I made dolls, very simple, like little dolls, and they had head, arms, and legs, and a little outfit and hair, and a cute little face. And we stamped a heart on their chest for kids who were in foster care.
Oh
So
wow.
they got a little stuffed animal. Um, So yeah, they got this little stuffed doll. We made them rainbow colors. They had rainbow color hair, so you would get, like an orange, body doll with, blue hair, So they got to be diverse and, it was like that was a fun project.
Do
And
you still have those?
I actually do. I can't not all of them because I donated them to Montgomery County Child Welfare back when I was like in 8th grade. But um, there was a gold award project that came up, and I was like, oh, I wonder if I have these dolls. And I had like just come across them at my parents' house, and I had a few that we just didn't get finished um, making, and like needed an outfit or the face didn't get put on. So I was like, those miscellaneous ones just kind of got put in a bag at my parents' house and I came across it. And so I think I might have one even upstairs that
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah. But most of them, I mean, we made hundreds and yeah, they got dropped off to child welfare for kids in foster care.
Wow.
So
So some child, their day was made better by having one of these dolls that you
yeah,
created.
which was the whole point of the project,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and the little heart stamp was really important so that they knew that they were loved. So,
Oh,
yeah,
that is so sweet.
yeah,
That
thank
is
you.
awesome. You should start making those more. I feel like the world needs more of that, like little
Oh,
heart stamps
well, that's
to,
why we have Girl Scouts.
yeah,
So,
I think more people need those. I think it's expanded, not just the people who are in that system. Like now we've expanded to we just need those for everybody in the
oh
country.
yes, yes,
Everyone needs a
everybody
doll with a
needs a
heart to hug.
little heart doll. So, that's true.
So if I met like a Girl Scout and I said your name, would they be like, "Oh my goodness, you talked to Hannah Davis"?
It depends where you meet the Girl Scout, but yeah, potentially.
Really? That is so
I
amazing.
mean, like, no big deal.
No
Like,
big deal. Just flick the hair. That is awesome. You know
yeah.
what? 100%. I've always had the utmost respect for you, but now I have even more so that you have this lifelong journey of being a Girl Scout.
Oh yeah, I'm here
Did you
for
all
it. I
have to
love
go
it.
camping? Did you have
Oh
camping
yeah, I went
trips?
camping. Yeah. Yeah,
So
I've camped. I know how to pitch a tent. I know how to, like I said, I know how to tie knots. I can start a fire.
do they have competitions between Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts? Like to see, like, yeah, I feel like a great show would be Girl Scouts versus Boy Scouts Survivor series. Like just
And
some
like,
young Girl Scouts and some young Boy Scouts, and then see like which side
I don't
can
know
make
if
it
I'd
out.
watch that, but
Would you say
I
you
was like, I don't know if I'd watch that, but because I was like, I don't want to put it in a competition because
okay?
there's no competition.
Yeah, maybe a collaborative show where
Yeah,
they
yeah. I was
help a
like,
team, or
yeah,
something.
yeah, because I'm like, we Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and I don't know much about the Boy Scout organization, so I'm like, I don't want to speak out of turn, but we are resourceful in our own ways,
Okay.
right? Like, like a Boy Scout may be able to go over and like clear the clearing for their tent and do all these things and make it out of, you know, this branch. And there's some Girl Scouts who do that too. I was not in that troop. There's some troops that are like very into that kind of stuff.
Right.
That was not my troop. Who were like, we liked ours already clear, or like a lodge. So we also, I mean, Girl Scouts still, I can make sure that our dishes get washed while we're out there. I can start our fire and keep the fire going, right? I can do these other things, right? That
Yeah.
maybe other folks may not be able to do.
You
So
make the campsite a home. Like
yeah, there
like
you
they
go. Yes. And we leave a place better than we found it. That's our whole thing. So
Oh,
we
that's
will,
amazing. That is
yeah.
amazing. I'm very interested now in the, the different, not the difference, but just the, I guess the characteristics of each, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, as opposed to, what are the differences or anything. I think it was so beautiful that you're like, no, we don't need a competition. We can work in unison. We don't have to,
Yeah.
because I feel like nowadays everything is like compete, who's the best. Like we
Yeah.
were just talking. That's the type A talking. Who's the best? Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts? It's like, all right, do we need to always have a competition? Can we ever just work together? Can we ever just
Right.
be on the
Yeah. I mean,
same team?
they're two different organizations. They're doing two different things. Like I love what Girl Scouts is doing. Like I love that organization. And yeah, I love their mission. I love their how. So yeah. I mean, I'm team Girl Scout, but also who knows if I have a son at some point, maybe I'll join Team Boy Scout. But right now, it's Team Girl Scout all the way.
Team
So
Girl Scout. What's the Boy Scout thing? Because the
I don't
three
know. I don't
is the Girl Scout.
yeah. Yeah.
Scout, is that Scout's honor?
Well, this is our like the Girl Scout hand sign.
Like if
So
I ever asked you, Hannah, how funny am I? Tell the truth. Like Girl Scouts, but
yeah,
you have to
yeah,
then
Girl
tell
Scout
me
honor.
exactly how you feel about my comedy.
Right, yeah. I'll say Girl Scout promise.
Girl
Like,
Scout.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I listen. I do miss you 100% coming out to shows, and I can't wait to do it again. And thank you. You came to Morgan's birthday party, which was
Yes,
so
yeah, it was fun.
like so surprising because it was like a last minute almost thought to be like, oh, Hannah, she has a child now. Maybe she wants to come. Because once you're a parent, it's almost like you forget all the other people who are in your orbit or whatever,
Yes. Oh
unless
yeah.
they're right there in front of you. You know what I mean? So
Mhm,
it takes
mhm.
some know-how to learn. But I definitely think all of us like pandemic parents need to, come together because I feel like our kids are I wouldn't say different, but this is definitely going to be a certain type of generation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like the generation COVID or whatever they call it. Like
Yeah,
because all these kids who are born are going to have, they're just going to be born into a world that they don't really they don't realize what they have been born into, like just the oddness of it, the how much of a schism there is between people and stuff and mask and the distrust of institutions,
yeah.
that
Well,
like
I mean,
that type of thing. And then also
yeah,
like not actually being around other people, because everybody was like kind of quarantined for a little bit.
yeah.
And then how other kids have dealt with that. So I feel like this generation of children is going to be very unique, and I'm very interested to see how we've raised them. Like,
Oh
what?
yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I thought about it because my daughter, she was in the NICU for the first week of her life. She didn't know what our faces looked like.
Oh no.
She didn't know what faces look like, right?
Yeah.
Because all she saw were eyes and a mask,
Yeah.
right? And so she shows up on Earth and is like, "Oh, this is what people look like." A
Yeah.
face and a mask, and that's all she saw for the first week of her life.
Oh man.
You
Yeah.
know, like she didn't know what we look like, and I remember telling my husband, I was like, she doesn't know what we look like. She hasn't seen our like. I hope she's okay. Like when we
Yeah.
take her home, like is she gonna know?
So
Like
were you able to hold her when she first popped out?
no,
Oh wow. I'm so sorry. That seems like
no. I was strapped down. Yeah. Yeah. I ended up in with an emergency C-section. So um, yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get that snuggle.
hmm. I'm sorry to hear that. But I mean, it's great that you now have been able to reconnect with, with her, and things are better for her. Um yeah, I mean, I was the first hands to touch like Morgan, and it just made me think about like, man, if you just think about the world in general, how many kids come out and like what is their first interaction with the world? So
Hmm.
many kids come out in so many different situations. Some come out in the hospital. We had, ours at home, and people have them in all kinds of situations. It's like you got to think about it. Like your initial entry into Earth is into this realm is like whatever happens through the birthing canal or through the C-section or whatever, and it's
Right.
just like boom, then you're here, and it's like, what do you see? And it's crazy that some kids, especially in this era, all they saw was just this and this, you know what I mean? Like they don't
Yeah.
see and then they weren't, with mom or whatever, and then
Yeah.
they come back like, oh, this is the person who's going to love me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got to visit her a lot, and see her. She was the biggest baby in the NICU, so that probably helped. We were able to like hang out and cuddle with her often, but still, it was yeah, it
And
was a
then
lot.
also like that one's yours. Like, okay, biggest baby in the like we know that one's fine.
Oh,
There's
I would
no chance of
like
a mix up.
turn on the unit, and get wheeled down and turn on the unit, and there was we heard this like, "Ah," and I was like, "Is that our baby?" Sure enough, it
That's
was. I was
that
like,
sounds like ours. Yeah, I mean, you think about in the past how I say these babies are like switched at birth or whatever, and then once you have them, you're like, oh damn, that definitely could happen. Like there could be like an accident, and you're just like, oops, you're
yeah,
going
yeah,
home with whatever. I don't understand why this baby is crying. It's like, oh, because there's a mismatch there.
yeah. No,
Anyway,
mine is mine. She looks. Dad went copy paste. I was like just the conduit. So yeah.
uh, well, she is beautiful. She is lovely. I've seen the picture. She has amazing eyes.
Thank you.
She's just the cutest cute as a button. And I can't wait to hang out with you all again. Do something
Yeah,
else. Again, we need to
yeah.
schedule that
Yeah, well,
ASAP.
like maybe we'll swing by a comedy show now that I know kids are welcome.
Yeah, right. Make sure it's one that I'm headlining because I'll be
Yeah.
okay with it. I think other people might have somewhat of an issue. But so do you have anything you want to share with the people? Tell them your social medias, tell them your websites, or do you have anything coming up that you'd like to let the people know about?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, so you can find me on all the social medias at Hannah D Wellness. Um, that's probably like the best place to find me. I'm not super duper duper active as far as posting, but I'm trying to get better at that. So yeah, you can find me there. If you have interest in trauma informed yoga, you can find me on our nonprofit vikaravillage.org. We do all things trauma and mind body connection over there. And yeah, if you're local and around the like DMV area, I have in-person classes that are starting up in the winter. So come on in. I also do an online class if you're not local on Tuesdays. That's 45 minutes and fantastic. So
You
yeah,
know what?
right after work, Tuesdays at 5. I love it.
Oh man, Tuesdays are my comedy night, but I might have to forego one or two of them so I can get a practice in real quick.
Well, here's the beauty about the online studio is that even if you can't show up live, you get a recording if you sign up for the class straight to your inbox. That's yours. You get to keep.
Oh wow. See,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a great deal. So yeah, if you can't make it live, just sign up and we'll send you a recording of the class. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think I implore people to do it because you are such a great instructor. You're such a great yogi, such a great teacher, and such a great person. Thank you so much for coming through
Well,
and
thank you.
hanging
Well,
out
thanks
with
for
us.
having me. Yeah, this has been fun. It's so fancy in here. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I try to make it good. I try to make it a good little environment. And I think right now we're succeeding. So
Oh,
you're the 49th episode. There's gonna be a 50th episode coming up, and we're just gonna keep tweaking things. So the next time you come back, things might be totally different.
okay. All
We
right.
might
Well,
have to
yeah.
have like a symbol, maybe not like this, but we'll have to have like a thing. It'll be like Blurred Dad Honor or something.
Yeah. Like,
Throwing up gang signs.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what is it called? It's called Girl Scouts Promise?
Yeah, the Girl Scout promise.
The Girl
Yeah.
Scout Promise?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's a great name for the episode, Girl Scout Promises. Um,
Hashtag Girl Scout promise. Like,
hashtag Girl Scout Promise.
thank
There
you.
you go. Anyways, this has been amazing. I can't wait to put this out into the world, and I can't wait to see you again. I think we ran the gamut. We talked about so much, and I don't think there's anything left to say except for blurt that out.